Thanks for your company. The news is live from our studios here in Kokomlemle in Accra, also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. The details now. The Controller and Accountant General's Department has been cited in payroll irregularities by the Auditor General for paying 33 deceased pensioners over 300,000 cedis. This is blamed mainly on delays in deleting those names from the payroll. The Acting Auditor General, Johnson Magull, in the 2019 audit report on MDAs, also attributed the incident to delays in transferring unclaimed pensions to government chest by the banks. There's more in the following News Desk report.
According to the 2019 Auditor General's report on MMDAs, the Controller and Accountant General, through an arrangement with the pensioners associations across the country, receives feedback on the status of pensioners. Their review of the mechanism for receiving such feedback revealed some significant weaknesses, resulting in the payment of unearned pensions to some deceased pensioners. In 2019, for instance, feedback on the status of some 29 deceased pensioners were not obtained monthly from the Pensioners Association prior to the payment of monthly pensions. As a result, the audit team noted that between January 2018 and November 2019, the Controller continued to pay unearned pensions into the accounts of the affected deceased pensioners, totaling 281,368 Ghana cedis. In the case of 4 other deceased pensioners, their bankers, the Etiwa Rural Bank, as at December 2019, had returned a total amount of 22,736 Ghana cedis to the Controller's suspense account out of a total of an earned pension of 43,090 Ghana cedis received between January 2018 and August 2019 on their behalf. To minimize the risk, the Auditor General urged the Controller and Accountant General to strengthen its relationship with the pensioners associations for prompt feedback on the status of pensioners. He further recommended that the Controller should ensure the recovery of unearned pensions into the suspense accounts.
Away from that, the Northeast Region Police has arrested an officer accused of facilitating the illegal acquisition of a gun license for a suspected thief who is undergoing trial at the Nalerugu District Court. Inspector Felix Bekele, who formerly worked with the formed police unit, is alleged to have taken pictures of the gun being held by prosecutors as exhibit in court and used his colleagues within the service to create a license for the alleged thief standing trial for possessing the same weapon without a license. The inspector was subsequently arrested following investigation. The IGP has since directed seizure of his accoutrement while investigations proceed. Northeast Regional correspondent Elias Tanko has been speaking with the police commander for more.
Inspector Bekele, who is now with the Nalerugu Police, was arrested and interrogated last month at the Northeast Regional Police Command, where he admitted to helping the suspect to procure the lances. He only sent a picture of the gun to a colleague at the formed police unit of the Tesano Divisional Police Command, where he worked previously, to facilitate the process. JoyNews learned the suspect Adam Musa was arrested in August this year for allegedly stealing. Police subsequently found an unregistered pump-action gun in his house during investigations. Adam was arrested and charged with possessing an unlicensed firearm and stealing as he was put before the Nalerugu District Court. As the trial progressed, however, the suspect managed to produce a license prepared by the Tesano Divisional Police for his gun. Police prosecutors who became suspicious prayed to the court for more time to examine the lances, which turned out to have been dubiously procured with the help of Police Inspector Bekele. DCOP Kwejo Entwitabi is the Northeast Regional Police Commander, who first explained how the officer was arrested.
Our primary investigations revealed that photographs of the weapon was taken in the charge office, Nalerugu Police Station charge office, and sent to Accra. We realized that the document indicated that it was issued by the Tesano Police. That is the license of the weapon. It was licensed at Tesano Police. And we're wondering how it could be licensed when the weapon at that time was in the custody of the police. So a preliminary investigation was led to that place, and we found out, it was revealed to us that Mr. Abekele took the photographs, sent to his colleague also at Accra in one of the police formations, FPU, and he is the one who sent the photograph of the gun bearing the serial number of the gun to the Tesano Police Arms and Ammunition Section to be registered. So when I got the information, I asked that they escort the inspector to my office for interrogation in the presence of the Deputy Regional Police Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ali, and the Regional Crown Officer Superintendent, Mr. Duga. Upon interrogation, initially he denied, but later when I confronted him that looking at the photograph, it was taken at the charge office where he is the station officer, and that he took the photographs. Then he admitted.
Residents in the area have always accused the police of helping suspected criminals to escape justice. The action, which has resulted in a widespread suspicion against the criminal justice system here, has also often led to the execution of what is being termed as jungle justice by aggrieved parties. The regional commander, however, said the police officer will be prosecuted as he has already been charged with abetment.
Other miscreants in the police service to stop aiding criminals, because it is our mandate to provide security, to ensure that criminals in the system are arrested and dealt with. And so if because of money you are going to assist a criminal, then this is not your place. They will be found out, and so the earlier you stop, the better.
Ilyas Sutanko reporting for Joy News.
This is your election headquarters, and after 6 successful elections in the Fourth Republic, many Ghanaians yearn for a real third force which could break the duopoly of the NPP and NDC. While the two parties grow stronger, the chances of other political parties such as the Convention People's Party, CPP, the People's National Congress, PNC, and the Progressive People's Party, that's the PPP, continues to remain bleak, mainly due to financial and logistical constraints. Well, ahead of the December polls, JoyNews, your election headquarters, with Imani Africa, is bringing you the minority political parties debate. Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, will be telling us more about that debate, and we'll be having a discussion shortly. But first, here's a report on one of the parties, the CPP.
Founded and led by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on June 12, 1949, the Convention People's Party.
But I believe that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo tried in 2008, failed, tried in 2012, failed, and it was in 2016 that he was able to succeed, third time lucky. And I believe that Professor John Evans Atta Mills, may he rest in peace, also tried on a number of occasions. I don't think Ghanaians are ready to just accept you on the first go. They want to listen to you, they want to hear you, they want to follow you, they want to understand you, and they want to develop a degree of confidence in you. So once again, I'm going to offer myself and my party, in whose policies and programs I believe, to the people of Ghana.
Indeed, the CPP is currently a pale shadow of its old self, losing its only Jomaro seat in 2012 and managing just 25,552 votes, representing 0.24% of total valid votes cast in the 2016 election. But will the 2020 polls be when it corrects the irony in its motto, forward ever, backward never? For Joy News, Manuel Cranting.
So a focus on the CPP today. Among the minority parties we have, it's the oldest, formed on June 12, 1949, followed by the PNC, formed in 1957. Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, joins me for discussion on this. Evans, indeed we promised and we've delivered. Earlier we brought a debate between independent candidates. This time the minority parties. There is a concern though that we are not seeing the likes of Nana Kunedu Ajaman Rawlings and Ekia Donko and Gum, Sofutri Abosom. What went into the selection of these parties?
There was a strict criteria that Imani developed for this, and to qualify to be considered for tonight's debate, you must have a public showing. You must have articulated your policies, interventions, assuming you win power. You must have established bases across the country, some semblance of it. We are not using the same criteria as the EC might expect in terms of every district or electoral area, but you must have a certain national character. You must have been visible in the lead up to the elections. Now, that was the criteria. The NDP didn't meet that criteria. The Ekadonko didn't meet that criteria as well. I mean, all the parties that you see on the stage, even for the party of the PNC, the PPP, even APC, even Mr. Palu LPG, have in many encounters publicly articulated what they stand for, articulated their policy proposals. They have put something out that they believe represent what the party believes in and what people should be considering in voting for them. It was a criteria and you have to meet it. If you don't meet it, you don't qualify. The fact that you filed and paid your filing fee doesn't necessarily mean that you get to debate when we don't know what you stand for. And that is why this week, throughout the week, we've been speaking to the candidates and you've heard them articulate these views that if some of them had put in documents that they branded manifestos. All right,
Evan, so let's talk about the debate proper. And I'll keep making reference to the independent presidential candidates debate because that was a first of a kind. And we saw some unique features of that debate. For example, being limited to 1 minute, I think, to respond to questions. Is that the same procedure we're going to have with this particular debate?
We're still going to have strict time limits for the candidates to play within. We've extended the time by 30 minutes, so this time it's not 2 hours, it's 2 hours, 30 minutes, so they can have more time. If you don't get to articulate everything within the minute you are giving, you can come back when we get into the discussion, interaction, rebuttal phases, so you can get to engage more and expand on a subject. But what we are not going to do is simply allot time to the candidate just so they get to repeat themselves. We're going to be very strict on that, and there's going to be a timer which is going to count them down. And when the timer exhausts itself, it's up and we move on. You get to expand it, because today we're going to be encouraging them to sort of challenge each other in terms of who has the best idea. And so, and they are free to do it. That's what's going to be lively about this time. And we are also going to, this time, ask them specific questions about their manifestos.
Okay.
And their policy proposals they put out, and challenging them to it and how they compare and contrast with each other.
So, Evans, you've explained to us how the debate will happen. Is there opportunity for audience to ask questions?
Yes, there is. So we are bringing in an additional element of audience participation. Audiences in the main auditorium will get to ask a few questions. And then audiences listening to us on our many electronic social media platforms, etc., could also send in their questions to election headquarters, and we'll select a few to ask as well. So there's going to be audience participation in the process, and we're also going to do a poll that's going to run from when the debate starts till it ends, so people can tell us who they believe is winning their hearts.
I was just coming to that because, you know, as we see with the U.S. presidential debates and even the vice presidential debates, at the end there's some projection or some attempt to declare a winner. So I was just going to find out from you if we're going to do that. So beyond the polls, would you have your own way of assessing the responses, or you're leaving it solely to the audience to judge who won the debate?
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to use the debate. We're going to let the people decide who best address their challenges. And for many people who are going to be listening, like every voter, or at least that's what we are expected to do, you have issues that are for you most important, based on which you want to vote for one candidate or the other. And if you're listening to a contest of ideas, which tonight is, you are paying attention to who is hitting these nails for you in terms of your own needs. And so we want the people to make that decision for themselves, having listened. Vote on the social media platforms to tell us who is doing it for them, who is addressing the issue, who is winning their hearts and minds. And so that's what we're going to use primarily. I mean, the danger is when we get into deciding ourselves without any proper objective criteria. If you leave it to the people, you can't get it wrong. At least the main poll is December 7th. That is the one that matters. And so the people can replicate that in their own way on social media tonight.
Thank you very much, Evans Mensah, head of our political desk, explaining to us what tonight's minority presidential debate is going to look like. And there you have it. We have Hassan Ayarga, who's with the APC, Ivor Green Street CPP, David Apasera with the PNC, Bridget Jogbanuku with the PPP, and Kofi Akbalu, who's with the LPGs at 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. live on this channel on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and on Joy 99.7 FM. And here's what you can do if you don't have access to any of these channels. Definitely, it will be streamed live on our Facebook pages, Joy News on TV, Joy 99.7 FM. You can also stream worldwide at myjoyonline.com. Now, the one-week commemoration of the death of Infantiman MP Ekokwansa Hayford is being held today. The flag bearer of the opposition NDC, John Dramani Mahama, is expected to be in attendance. Central Region correspondent Richard Kojunyako joins us with more. I must imagine a very solemn occasion there. Tell us what's been happening so far, Richard.
Well, so it's a very solemn occasion. The Vice President of the Republic just arrived here at the Mankesim School Park. Other government dignitaries are here. Family members are here seated. I've seen the widow, the children of the late MP. And then we are told that the former president, John Dramani Mahama, who has been in the region for some time now, would also come and mourn with the family of the late MP. And so the event has just begun because the vice president just came and they are kickstarting the event. There are various groups. The NPP National Party is being led by John Bwedu. John Bwedu is here, Samia Uku, Alan Shermantin, and a host of ministers of state plus colleague MPs of the late member of parliament. They are all here to mourn with the family.
Tell us what note this program will take. Well,
so per the program, the family would today we are expecting to hear that the funeral arrangement will be announced, when they will schedule the funeral arrangement too, and then other things as well. There will also be some speeches from the vice president and other dignitaries that have also come. The family members will also take their time to brief those that have gathered here. I can tell you that hundreds of people have gathered here, and then the park has been filled to the rafters. A lot of the people are standing outside. There is heavy security presence here, and so I can tell you that it's one solemn occasion. But outside the park too, you see MPP paraphernalia being sold at the grounds, and a lot of people are also patronizing them. So I have been asking some of the people that have come here I spoke with Mr. Kwame Nabata, a former Minister of State, about how hard this incident has hit the party, considering the fact that we are just some weeks away from the elections. And his answer was that, well, they pray and hope that the wife that has been made to replace the husband will gather the strength and the courage to hold the fort, and then the entire party will be solidly behind the wife to campaign to ensure that at least something would be done in memory of the late MP.
And Richard, talking about that, we haven't had a response from the wife of the MP yet. I know that in some traditional communities in Ghana, when a wife loses her husband, she usually doesn't speak in public. Are we expecting her to speak today?
Well, that is not the expectation. We are not expecting her to speak in public. Here in her face mask, black, with the two children seated beside her. We know that there is another wife, and it is publicly known. She is also a nurse from Takwa, and we are expecting to see her here. In fact, we do know that the family is even aware of this wife, but the wife customarily is regarded as another wife of the late MP, but this is the one that everything she took to the church, had the wedding and everything. And so the late MP has two children with the wife that we are told works at Kappa and is a nurse. And so we are not expecting any public comment from these two personalities here.
Richard, we can see live visuals now. We saw that the Vice President and some other dignitaries on the stage were standing a while ago. Can you tell us what was happening?
Well, so the Vice President was ushered in, and so you could see the fanfare, the party people acknowledging the fact that the Vice President has joined them to mourn the departed MP. After the Vice President was Kennedy Japon, and he was also welcomed to the park with some kind of fanfare as well. So as and when someone, a big wig or an important dignitary enters the park, I mean, you will see a rousing welcome by the people that are here. Even though it is supposed to be a mourning for the late MP, but you could also see some excitement in the people. You know, when the incident broke, there were chants that they wanted the wife to replace the husband. And due to that, the party heeded to the call, and they indeed replaced the wife with the wife with the departed husband. And so that is what we are witnessing here. When you are looking at the live visuals that is currently streaming on TV.
Before you go, Richard, there's talk of the mother of this MP. Is she in attendance? We understand she's about 80 years and that's her only child.
Yes, she's in attendance. She's flanked by other members of the family who are making sure that she's well. They are consoling her. And so the same treatment meted out to the wife is what we see here at the park being meted out to the mother of this member of parliament. In fact, she has also not spoken to the media yet, same as the wife and other people, but you hear from the family members who have constantly been engaging government officials and the people that have come to mourn them. And so the mother is here, and then the two children from the assistant superintendent, who is now the MPP parliamentary candidate for Mfantsiman, they are also here.
Thank you very much. Richard Kojonyako is a Central Region correspondent, bringing us live updates from the one-week commemoration of the death of Mfantsiman MP Elko Kwanza. The Vice President is in attendance. We'll bring you more on this event in our subsequent bulletins. Now, an assessment conducted by the Ghana Institute of Surveyors into the construction of the yet-to-be-completed Saglemi housing project established that over $100 million was embezzled by the NDC administration and contractors on the project. According to the sector minister, Samuel Atachia, the final document was handed over to him only last month. He also indicated that a copy of the report has been given to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service for investigation. He made this revelation on Manifesto Tracker on PM Express on JoyNews channel Wednesday night.
Plus dollars.
And you have the surveyor called Dr. John Magull, the president, signing this document.
The president of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors.
Yeah, the president of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors.
His signature is there.
His signature is there. And then let's go to the executive summary, and some of these things will be very clear. It is stated in black and white that the amount paid to the contractor is 179,904,7525. And it's stated clearly that the total works on the ground is 64. The difference is what gives you the 104 million I'm talking about.
So they've paid a total 179.
Yes.
Have actually delivered a work amounting to worth 64 million.
64 million.
So the question is, where is the remainder?
That is the defalcation. You see, because at the end of the day, the quantity surveyors can tell you the kind of cost in even the wall.
Okay.
That is the expertise.
So the quantity surveyor have gone to say,
of course,
all the work they've done,
of course,
should amount to 64 million.
However,
we've paid you 879 million.
And therefore, the difference is the theft. It's not a spiritual thing. This is what we call ocular proof. And if you look at all the measurements, anybody who is trained as a quantity will tell you they measured everything. And even there was a whole annex of about 1,000 pages that they made reference to, but because they couldn't make they couldn't annex it. They didn't want to write an encyclopedia. But in good time, those who want to verify the minutest detail of the settlement housing delivery will come to terms with that. But I'm afraid this is one of the things the people don't do. And I want to insist that every government is in continuum. Article 35(7) makes it very clear that the government is in continuum. So the NDC government has delivered 5,000 housing units using the $2 million United States dollars, and the houses are sold. That kind of the money we can recoup from the investment can be rolled out, and we'll be able to talk about serious business. That's why they are telling you that we can only do 5,000. Because that is what they attempted and they messed up.
Okay. Yeah. You can verify it for yourself. As you can see, the document. So this is your president.
Yeah.
You had mentioned before that you were going to talk to the president.
Yes, I'll talk to the president.
Yeah. This is his signature.
Okay.
So you agree that...
Oh, this is Magull,
yeah. That's him. And the executive summary, he talked about... So
if you can make this available, because...
I'll give you a copy. Yes, I've told you that because of where you are in the Committee of Works and Housing.
So that is 179 million paid, total payment to contractor per term of reference.
Yes.
And then he comes to total cost of works executed on site, including the desalination plant at 64 million. Do you agree that there is a huge amount of 140 million now that the evidence has been provided?
Well, the minority spokesperson on Works and Housing Committee in Parliament, Augustine Pedra, who was on the same show, questioned the authenticity of the report.
For all these 3 years, nobody has been prosecuted. I'm a member of Ghana Institutional Survey. Not just an honorary member. I'm a fellow of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors. I'm not just a surveyor, I'm a quantity surveyor by profession. And I belong to a political party. I will not sit in Parliament as a member of the Works and Housing Committee. Then we've all assessment, and then somebody else will say that we have been shortchanged by this by the contractor or by the former administration. Now he says that the institution has given him some measurement, has given him some costing. He has not made it available to the minority. We have trumpeted this. We have said it over. I took journalists to the side, said that if there is anything that anybody has done, we want evidence. He has brought some evidences. He said he has sent all those evidences to the Attorney General for advice. Till today, the Ghana is to the police. Yeah. Today, the Ghana Institution of Surveyors or the Ghana Institution of Surveying is on the block now. You are telling us that my institution has gone there to do measurement. I'll cross-check.
Sure.
And Evans, I want you to cross-check. I'll give you the name of the president and the chairman of my division to be sure whether the institution has gone there to do any measurement. Because the then MD of AESL was a fellow of Ghana Institution of Surveyors. He was a quant surveyor. the late Alhaji Mashood Musa. Mashood Musa will not supervise a job that is expensive, that will that will go beyond what is supposed to to be given. So for this one, I don't want to take it. I want Joy FM to go
tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow, with the greatest of respect, I'll do you the honors of delivering to you a copy of the report by the Ghana Institute.
And give me a copy as well.
I can give you a copy free of charge. Because this is an honor that I owe this studio. Because I hold you people in high esteem, and I'm not here to do propaganda.
Okay.
That at my level, I'm beginning to say that no measurement has been done. But for purposes of showing that some people have messed up this country, I mean, I'm coming to say so.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning I'm going to give you a call.
Yes, please do.
And can you leave it in the office so that we can pick it?
You can collect it from my secretary.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you a copy.
That satisfies you.
Yeah, that's satisfies.
Well, you can catch that full show on our YouTube channel, Joy News on TV. But you know, the Saglemi Housing Project was supposed to deal with housing issues of Ghanaians and address concerns of affordable housing. We've been speaking to Ghanaians about their concerns when it comes to renting affordable homes.
Many Ghanaians dream of owning their own homes, but this does not come easily.
Normally it depends. You see, when you have a good job, you are getting better pay or good pay. Renting might not be difficult for you at all. But whereby hustler like some of us is difficult.
Oh, sometimes it's very hard because by the close of the year, I can say maybe our work, we are not getting the work very easy for it to assist us to pay our rent.
Ghana's housing deficit is estimated to hit 5.7 million by the end of 2020. Those who manage to raise some funds to find a place to lay their heads are confronted with high rents and property owners demanding long tenure fees, contrary to law. It remains an issue of concern to many.
To build a house, the land is the problem. If you get the land, the remaining is a process. You go in small, but you can't get going to build a house unless you plan it and you get the money small. But it's not easy.
The issue that I have is about the lands between the landowners and lands commission and the buyers. Yeah, that is where sometimes because of this crash of the land gas and those things. Then if you take it from that angle, it's very, very worried. And that's where I don't think things are going well in this particular town in Greater Accra, because we hear it from the very and minor angles, and which is wrong. So
I've had several encounters with renting issues, not once, not twice. It has been an issue that it has been bothering us, and it's not peculiar to me alone. A lot of people are going through the same challenges, and I know that definitely something must be done about it. Otherwise, most people who are renting people's homes are taken for granted because they don't even know agents coming to help them, and at the end of the day, the agency fee alone you pay is something that is a bit worrying.
Only thing that my landlords do is he will call you as the tenant and tell you that, due to this economy, how things are going on, I want to increase the rent from 2 cedis. I'll add 1 cedi 50 pesos to it. You see, each month he will tell you before. So if you really want, you stay, you pay. But me, I like my landlord because the wife even told me that if I don't have money when it's my time to pay and I don't have money, the only thing that you can do is I should come and see the man personal. It's because I see that the man is not staying in the house with us.
Well, here at Joy News, we appreciate the concerns, and we have put together the Habitat Fair. This year's edition is on the theme Affordable Housing Beyond the Rhetoric, and is brought to you in partnership with EcoBank, and it will be happening on the 17th to the 18th of October at the West Hills Mall from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So it's also brought to you by GHB Properties, DBS Industries Limited, Duraplast Limited, and the Planned City Extension project. Well, one of the main issues that will come up during this year's edition is the issue of mortgaging. So you want to make a date with us and join the Habitat Fair 2020 on the theme Affordable Housing Beyond the Rhetoric. You're watching JoyNews Desk with me, Benis Abubedulansa. Coming up shortly in business, government launches Ghana Cares Guarantee Scheme for businesses affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We've got details in a moment to stay.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. Government has finally launched the Ghana Cares Guarantee Scheme under the auspices of the Ministry of Finance. The scheme is developed to facilitate and improve access to financing by business sectors that have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic through the issuance of guarantee cover to participate in financial institutions. Nicholas Brown has more.
Speaking at the launch, First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Poku Afare, said the scheme will help reduce the cost of borrowing of SMEs and increase their access to appropriate financing.
It is my fervent belief that this guarantee scheme under the Ghana Cares program will go a long way to reduce the risk perception of these SMEs, help reduce their cost of borrowing, and increase their access to appropriate financing. This in turn should enable them to produce more to meet both local demand and to provide decent livelihoods to households that depend on them. A unique feature of the Ghana Cares program is that it is being done through the provision of guarantees rather than cash handouts, and it's less distortionary to both the financial system and beneficiaries' own sustainability going forward.
Minister of Planning, Professor George Yao-Jan Bafo, who represented the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, also stated that the scheme will guarantee 80% of credit extended by participating banks to their clients.
Through this scheme, and as we've been told by the governor, we are incentivizing banks to lend to private sector at competitive rates. And this is a 2 billion Ghana cedi initiative to be administered by GIRSAL to help SMEs to borrow from banks at more affordable rates with longer tenure. The scheme will guarantee up to 80% of credit extended by participation banks to their clients.
In a media engagement, President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Yao Edu Jemfi, said the scheme comes as a big relief for all local industry players.
I have had numerous calls from my members. What are you doing for us? What is the government doing? With all the planning that the Finance Ministry was doing along with the Bank of Ghana, with the initiation of this program, Ghana Care, a lot of things are going to be in place. So that, like I still repeat, that yes, with access to finance, which is the major problem for most companies, this is really going to make a difference. And once people have access to funds and be able to buy new equipment, be able to expand their businesses, definitely what production will be available and we will not have to import everything.
The finance minister, in his media budget review and supplementary estimates, announced the establishment of a guarantee scheme of up to 2 billion cedis to enable businesses to borrow from banks at a more affordable rate and a longer course. Nicholas Brown for Joy Business.